Hey, Bernadette McClelland here, and welcome to this week's Friday wrap-up for sales leaders. And what a week it's been. So I posted my post this week, and it caused a fair amount of discussion. And I want to talk about that today and also expand on the concepts that were in a couple of those posts. So first and foremost, I want to chunk this up into a couple of different themes, if you like. One is communication and the other is trust and transparency. So when I was doing my diploma in management at Deakin University a few years ago, one of the very first things that I learned is that the receiver, if there is a misunderstanding in communication, it is not the responsibility of the person receiving the communication, it is the responsibility of the person doing the communicating. And this week, that was me. So I have to look at the way that I was communicating my thoughts. But the whole point of all of this is that there will always be disagreement with any idea or thought that you may have. And that is healthy. Because when we can get diversity of thinking, diversity of ideas, that is going to fuel innovation. It is also going to fuel and expand our levels of thinking, if you like. And when you do any form of improv or improvisation, which is something that I love to do, one of the tenets of improv is around this whole concept that every idea is a bridge to a better idea. So if you're in a meeting or you're starting to use your voice on social media and you say something that somebody disagrees with, then that is not you that person is anti or disagreeing or judging. It is simply the idea or the thought that you shared. Now, I know I had a couple of colleagues messaging me behind the scenes this week and say, hey, Bernadette, you're getting beaten up here. And I think, no, I'm not. I'm having a couple of colleagues disagree with something that I'm saying. And as the communicator, I have to look at that, but it will also spurn some different thoughts or some different ideas that are going to make all of us think a little different. So I think that is something that will help all of us if we can kind of look at disagreement through that filter more often, because, hey, it's pretty divisive out there at the moment. It's not just about posts on LinkedIn. It's about vaccinations. It's about politics. It could even be, in relation to some objections you're getting. So I want us to look through that filter, that every idea is a bridge to a better idea, and that disagreement around thinking and ideas is healthy. So that then brings me on to the point of the post that I wrote. And that was really around transparency and trust. And around the example that I gave was a yesteryear example of our process that we had at Xerox, the really, I guess, granularity of us having to report our activity on a weekly basis so that our managers could forecast, I suppose, be able to give us our ratios. We could look at, at what our numbers were at a real granular level, but that was pre-CRM. So we have CRMs today. And I guess what I was saying is that every manager, if you're not managing or you're not across the numbers of activities or the different milestones of activities that your salespeople are responsible for, then you're going to be sabotaging your results. Now, a lot of the businesses that I work for are small to medium businesses. They don't have CRMs, or they have some kind of a tacked on, add-on to their platform that they've got, or they're still using spreadsheets. And still a lot of managers aren't aware of how to actually measure or monitor or manage those numbers. And it's not just from a micromanaging perspective. It's not just from a carrot and stick aspect. If you're able to drill down, or you're able to have that visibility around the activity that your salespeople are doing, you're able to actually help coach them. Because when you can start to look at the velocity, or you start to look at the velocity of the pipeline, or you look at the fact that, maybe they're getting their foot in the door, but hang on, everything seems to stop at the proposal. We can't seem to get past that. So what's the lag why is there a lag happening there? You're able to start to look at where those gaps are and coach them around that when you know how to read the numbers properly. And so I think that's really important, and visibility is part of that. The thing is, a number of businesses invest in CRMs and salespeople just aren't using them, and managers aren't leveraging them well enough. So that's part of the whole discussion that I was having. The second part of that is visibility to calendars. Like, we are in a totally different world now. We're working from home. It's all remote. Things are virtual. From an accessibility and from a visibility perspective, that to me is really important. Now, I know a couple of my colleagues said, I would never work with a leader or a manager that demands they see my calendar or insists that they see my. I agree. And if I was in a culture where my manager was demanding and insisting, and I would get the heck out of Dodge, because that is a cultural thing. That is some kind of a totalitarian system of management, which, there are still a few of them out there, but we are well and truly moving down a different path these days. And so I would expect, if I was a leader today, and I was a really good leader, I would expect that my salespeople would give me visibility to their calendar, and vice versa, by the way, because to me, that transparency would be based on trust and respect. So I really wanted to share those points today. I mean, my colleagues that disagreed with me, I know they love me and they respect me. They simply disagreed with what I put. Now, when we talk trust, and I would love for you to have this conversation with your team, not just what is trust, because anyone can come to the table and just, rattle off what trust is, but ask them, what is trust not? Now, that's a thinking question. That's not you're not going to get a default answer with that question. So to find out what is trust not, and have a healthy conversation around that. And if someone disagrees with you, do the old improv thing. Say yes and. Yes, I'm hearing what you're saying, and perhaps there's another way to look at it, rather than yes, but you're wrong. So, guys, on that note, I know it's a bit of a doozy today. There's a lot that was covered. There was a lot of learnings that I got out of last week, which was amazing. So I want to thank everybody that contributed. Now, on a separate note, keep a lookout in the next couple of weeks. I will be running a webinar. Because it's called the Courageous Sales Leader, 3 ways to build a team of leaders, not just sellers. So if you're interested in that, just hit me up with a yes in the comments below. I'll shoot you the details personally. Other than that, keep a look at it, and I'll be posting it here on LinkedIn anyway. So, hey guys, have an amazing weekend, and I look forward to next week, where we can have another Friday wrap up about another completely different topic. Or maybe the same. Would love to know your thoughts anyway. Have a good one. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.